Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jugnoo podcast. Today, I have with me two incredible founders who just changed the way how people looked at auto rickshaw transportation. Samar Singla, founder of Jugnoo, and Yaku Neatling, founder of Village Tuks from South Africa. I'm delighted to welcome you both over here, and because we're going to talk about auto rickshaw transportation and how you guys have and are revolutionizing transportation in your own countries.
So yeah, guys, we live in I'll call it a little village where we are. It's called Henley on Klip. It's very old. I think it was founded in 1930 something. So it's very small. It's very beautiful here. Our stands, like my yard where I'm sitting in at the moment, is around 4,000 square meters big. So the property sizes is very big here. It's really like a little village. And we've been living here for the last 2 years, but I've always known about this place because there's also a big diving spot here where you can do open water diving and you can go right up down to 30, maybe 40 meters.
Hopefully no sharks.
No, there's no sharks here. There's just some freshwater fish here,
Okay.
But it's a diving institution where we are about 600 kilometers from the coast. So it makes sense for people to come and dive here and get the experience, not having to spend the money to drive all the way down to Durban. I'm a certified PADI dive master, so I often assisted in helping new drivers train. So that's why I know about this place. But we've been living here for the last 2 years now. This is our third year, and we realized that there's no Uber here. Something that's a big challenge in South Africa is the taxi associations, right?
Yeah.
And they are really not friendly to the Ubers and the Bolts and all the e-hailing services out there. But this thing is slowly but surely changing, and the government is now looking at, Uber is 100% legal. It's just that getting your operator's permits can be a huge challenge. At the best of times, dealing with our government can be a challenge. Let me put it like that. But we're winning. We looked at this area, and my parents are retiring. My mom is turning 80, and they said that they don't want to drive anymore.
Yeah.
And we helped her to sell her car. But then we were in the situation where we had to drive them up and down all the time. And we tried to get Bolt, we tried to get Uber, we tried to get like a local taxi service here, but the one or two people that is in the area are just not capable to deal with the demand. So you can request a Bolt or you can request a Uber all you want, and they will hardly ever arrive, maybe 1% out of the times. And we said, well, why don't we start our own little thing? And since I've traveled so much, I've been to Thailand so many times, and my wife said to me, but why don't we start our own Uber service? So we contacted Bajaj, and they said they've got these.
I was going to say, I'm sure they're Bajaj autos. I'll tell you a little story afterwards.
Sure, that'd be nice. So we contacted Bajaj, and I don't know if these little cars are in India. They got the Bajaj Qute. Have you seen the Qutes?
Yeah, the four-wheelers.
The four-wheelers, yes.
Yeah. They launched it. It was a bit expensive for India, but they're very nice, actually.
Yeah, so Bolt here ended up signing an exclusivity deal with Bajaj in South Africa. So the normal guys like me and anybody else for that matter cannot buy any of the four-wheeler Qutes. The contract goes until 2028. Then they'll either renegotiate or they'll make it available to everybody else, which was actually a blessing in disguise because tuk-tuks are something different.
Tuk-tuks is an experience, man. It's
a hell of an experience.
Yeah, it's not a cheap car. It's just its own class.
You can't compare it with anything else, right?
Yeah.
So they told us that we can have tuk-tuks, but we can't have the Qutes. And we said, well, okay, they're actually cheaper.
Yeah.
And they are a lot of fun to ride in, it's amazing how many people are just going for joyrides here by us.
Yeah, man. In Thailand, it's like, all the
your mode of transport.
Magnets it's like the thing. If you go to Thailand, you have to ride a tuk-tuk. And I think that's how it is in India also. For us, it's like, for me, going to my, let's say, classes, evening classes was riding a tuk-tuk. So for me, it was not a joyride, but it was way of life.
Well, let me tell you something. Although it's a joyride for a lot of people, we were absolutely blown away by, and I don't know if you've seen our our growth in terms of our rides. Tahira, have you guys seen?
Yeah, I know. You guys are doing very well. It's so simple, and like let me back you up as you're telling. See, Uber, Bolt, all these companies, their thesis is very simple. They burn a lot of money in the market, and because of that, they have to take 30% from drivers, right?
Mm,
Because they say,
mm,
oh, we have burned so much money. So, and entrepreneurs like you and I, we're clear, guys, we are not going to burn any money. We're doing it for profit. We want you to make money. We want to make money from day one. That's why we are, trying to make money for a small team, 5 people, 10 people, that's it. So we are happy taking a 10% margin. So the
mm.
real reason why for Uber, small towns, cities don't make sense is because of this model,
Correct.
right? And
I've
for
seen it.
smaller entrepreneurs, it totally makes sense. And the need is there, as you are seeing, right? I mean, people like, your parents needed it. My father needs it. My father only uses WhatsApp and Jugnoo.
Mm,
He doesn't know how to use any app. He
okay.
just knows that I have to press this button done.
Sure.
So I think that's kind of what we are seeing all over the world, right? I was telling you, I was in Poland last month in a small town. Again, same situation.
Mm,
Uber does not go to small towns and villages because they have to work only where they get heavy margins, high
mm,
margins, and that
mm,
is possible in cities because there is so much driver competition that drivers don't have a choice but to just give in to Uber's demands.
mm,
So
mm.
man, this model is so lucrative right now that if you're an entrepreneur, work and build for small towns and cities. Yes, big cities are great, lot of opportunities, but there is, because of technology today, there is a lot of opportunity in small towns, which
Absolutely.
is
I see that. I
very
see that.
good. Yeah.
So, Samar, yeah, that's another challenge that the public here faces with the Uber guys because of their rates and because of the surcharges. And I don't mean to badmouth them at all now. I'm just giving you a practical example of what I've experienced here is that you'll request a
It's a
ride on.
good service, but like you are right. The
Mm.
pricing and the economics is a problem. Yes.
That is what's happening here. So the Uber driver will see your ride request come in, and
Hmm.
they'll get your details, and then they'll cancel the ride. And then a few minutes later, you get a
They'll call
manual
you.
call from the guy to say, "How's it? I'm the guy from Uber, but we need to discuss your ride because this or this or this is not right. So let me do
Yeah.
a private ride for you, rather. And I think that is to get around the
The
the the fees that Uber
30%
charges them. Yeah.
that Uber charges. Yeah.
Mm. So we've decided to do a slightly different model. We
Hmm.
do not take any commissions from our drivers
Fixed
um,
fee.
because it's such a small community. I mean, there's only about 70,000 people in our community.
Hmm.
Um, so the people here are suffering. Times are very, very, very tough here. And there's so many people here that does not have, and there is no public transport here. So we thought that, let's start with a few little tuk-tuks at first, which was 8.
Hmm.
And in the beginning, I was very nervous because
You should be, man. If you are a smart person, you should be.
the business was not really there. I mean, if you look at our stats, our first month, I think we did 300 or 400 rides
Yeah.
for the first month. And I must be honest as well, we had 8 bikes and I think only 5 of them were running. It was a real challenge to get drivers and
Hmm.
good drivers as well, for that matter, because you need a motorbike license to drive these, and
Hmm.
they classified as a motorbike, right?
And
So
the gears are different. They're in the
the
hand,
gears are
right?
different. Yeah, so but I mean, I must also say in South Africa, I think 90% of the guys can drive maybe for 3 or 4 years before they get the actual license. It's just
Yeah.
the way
Same
we
in
grew up.
India. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could drive a tractor before I could drive a car.
Yeah.
I could drive a motorbike before I could drive a car, because we'd grow up on the farms and there's always something,
Yeah. You don't check license, before sitting on the tractor. Yeah. Sure.
and there's no cops, so
Yeah.
you don't worry about it. It's the cops are in the big cities and stuff. So we could all drive, and you can ride a bike. I mean, I got on a tuk-tuk, and I could ride it the very first time without fail, without any issues. It was really
Yeah.
simple. It's just the gears that's different, you know. So,
Yeah,
and it's not difficult to understand. It's not difficult to operate.
true.
There's some other basic things that you just need to bear in mind. You've only got one front tire, so your grip is going to be less. So when it's wet, be careful, because I've learned some
Yeah,
lessons
I've
there.
driven a tuk-tuk, I know, man. And
So,
there is a propensity to, they can overturn. Like if you really do a very sharp turn, they can overturn also. So you
yeah,
have to
but
be a little
you have to
careful.
be an idiot to do that, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
really have to be an
exactly.
idiot.
I've seen people do that. So
I've
there
seen
are
some
people
videos
who
of
can
that as
manage
well.
it. Yeah. So
So yeah, I mean, we decided to start with 8 tuk-tuks, and the first month, well, let me say the first 2 weeks was a little bit slow. And it was such a new thing. It was such a wow, there's tuk-tuks in our town, you know, and
yeah,
everybody was
everybody loves
raving
it.
about
Oh man, like this is such a cool thing
it. Mm.
because like people love it, the concept of it. Yeah.
So I really need to send you guys some pictures of what our tuk-tuks look like now, because we've taken it a step further. Okay, so all 8 bikes are running now.
Hmm.
And based on the stats that we saw on your app, which is fantastic, and I must just take a step back here quickly and say that in the beginning, we also used a WhatsApp group.
Hmm.
But very quickly, we realized this is not going
Not
to,
going to work. Yeah.
because that phone is now, it got to a point where it would not stop ringing.
Yeah,
You
you
would
need
have,
it fast, right? I mean, people can't wait
yes.
when they need a ride. Yeah, sure.
And then the other challenge that you have is that it's okay in the beginning when you're small to use that, because you can manage it. But now you've got a drivers group on WhatsApp, and you have to send all those requests to them, and it becomes so fast so quickly that
Yeah.
lots of rides are missed, and
Yeah.
the customers
True.
are getting annoyed, you know, and you don't want that. I'm all about service, Samar. I must tell you something. This is my 4th company in my life, my startup, a startup that I've started. And if there's one thing that I've realized, you can get anything around any corner these days. There's so many shops that does the same thing. You'll find in our town, there's probably about 20 cell phone shops, just as an example, in a
Yeah.
small little town. But for me, it's about service. So what I'm saying is you can get almost anything you want these days around every corner, but you can't get good service and good after-sales service around every corner.
Yeah.
Not everybody is geared like that. And I always say that this is what has made me successful in my life. I've had a security business, I had a telecommunications business, I've got the tuk-tuk business, and now we've got a gas business as well, Agile Gas. And again, you know, gas companies, there's a dime a dozen in South Africa, but we do very well with it. And it's purely for one reason. We say what we do and we do what we say. You know,
Fair
we
enough.
really pride ourselves on after-sales service, and I'm implementing the same game plan, if I can call it that, with the tuk-tuks. We are the only, and I mean, there's a lot of people that's offering transport services in our small little town that is flying under the radar, because it's such a challenge to get yourself registered with the Department of Transport. But we said, listen, we don't care how tough it is, we don't care how hard it is or what it's going to take, but we will jump through every single hoop to get ourselves registered as an e-hailing service with the Department of Transport in South Africa. And we're getting there. I mean, we're now at a point where the mayor is even voting for us, you know. He is even going to be doing a letter of recommendation to the Department of Transport, because apart from the fact, Samar, that we bring this beautiful service to the public here and help them to get along, you must remember what a financial input, economic financial input it is for our town, that the people can actually now get to the shops and get to the malls to go and spend their money.
And also the jobs, man, the jobs it creates for people who don't have a
Yes.
lot of skill, right? That's a massive thing, I believe.
Absolutely. And yeah, so 3 months later, we are now quite well familiarized with the Jugnoo app. And yes, we're still learning, because I'm running 2 companies at the moment, so I can't always give it my 100% attention like I would like to. And this is where I also want to say a big shout out to Shubham and to Sarah that's been helping me, because they are phenomenal. I mean, these guys, they respond after hours when it's not
Thank you.
necessary,
Yeah.
outside
I'll
of
make
their
sure they
working
know. Yeah.
hours. And they'll support me, they'll help me, you know. And every single time I had a request or a challenge, they would be there and they would support, you know. And this is worth it's priceless for me, because like I said 1 minute ago, it's all about after sales service. You can get whatever you want around every corner, but you don't get service around every corner.
True.
And for us to spend this kind of money was hard, because it for us it's a lot of money. And I was very nervous about after sales service. Very
Yeah.
nervous. So it was a bit of a leap of faith as well that I took with your business. But I can
Thank you.
honestly say that we're happy that we've gone that way, because it's about the relationships that you built with people at the end of the day. And Sarah and Shubham has just been magnificent. So after sales service and support is definitely there from you guys. I can say that, you know. Then by using the app, we realized that the last month we had 1,600 missed ride requests.
Wow.
And judging by, and this is now useful data that we get from the app, you know, because we can see now how many rides are done by a driver on average per day.
Yeah.
And when we looked at it, we saw that our drivers are doing on average between 25 and 30 rides a day. So
That's
if
a
you,
lot, man.
yeah, we're busy. So if you take 1,600 ride requests divided by your average of 25 rides a day, it shows you that it justifies to buy another bike.
Yeah.
So that helped us to determine whether there's enough market for us buying another bike. And that information became useful, and we said, well, okay, cool, let's go and buy another bike. So the rates that we charge is also something that's important from our side. You know, if you look at what Uber and Bolt and those guys charge, they're expensive because of the surcharges and all the other nonsense, like you've mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
And we said that to be successful here, without taking too much money from the drivers, we need to find some alternative plan to subsidize the ride costs, as well as the rental, because we work on our business model is a rental to the drivers. So we don't employ the drivers like Uber. We rent the motorbikes out to the drivers.
Fair.
What's nice about that is that you don't have somebody that earns a salary and is going to be
Yeah.
on sick.
They're micro entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So these guys works for themselves. And that means that they're going to be they will be there. They'll be driving,
Yeah.
they'll be riding.
It's
because
their
they work.
money, right? They're like business people. They're not employees anymore.
Correct. So that makes them also more reliable at the same time. It makes them more professional. They are really eager and keen. They're hungry. They want to grab that next ride. The guys are actually teasing each other. The one guy is being called vinnige fani or vinnige fingers. It means very fast fingers. Because when that
So,
app rings,
I don't know if you
he
have
doesn't
made
even
it
check.
live or not, but we used to have in the driver app, we used to have a driver dashboard, which where, like leaderboard. So
Correct.
where the driver wants to be first, and it was
It's a
always
competition
fun.
here as well. I can tell you that, Samar. It's a competition. The drivers are always bragging about who did the most rides for the day.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we have to say that what can we do to bring the rental amount for the bikes down per month? Because we can't charge the drivers the same for the vehicles as what Uber charges, because they will never make it.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be happy. You know, I always say if a partnership is a win-win partnership for everybody,
True.
then it makes
That's
sense.
the only way to, in fact, I've heard a Ratan Tata quote, which is Ratan Tata was a very visionary leader from India. Tata Industries, you might have heard,
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
he
yes.
said, yeah, so he was the head of that for pretty much all his life. He said that, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go
We go
together.
together.
So, I don't know, I mean, might be like common one, but it really stuck to me, right? I think it's so important that a lot of times we are trying to just do things fast. And, when I started my business, say 15 years ago, I was also always in a hurry in that some sense, right? That entrepreneurial mindset. But I have realized, and that there is value in going slow, building relationships, and giving people the space that they need, and just waiting it out. So the same thing, it's like it's so amazing. Like, one of my board members would always tell me, just focus on enterprise. Don't focus on entrepreneurs, they don't pay enough. And in a way, it's true. But, like I told him that, see, that's what I like, you know. I'll give you an example. There was this company called Baymin in Vietnam. I can talk about them now. The company is sold, whatever, it's long story. So that company, they started, I think 5 people from Korea went to Vietnam, and started this company on our platform from zero, went to about 700K transactions a day, food delivery app,
Wow.
right? And then sold that company to this delivery hero for $4 billion.
Oh my
All
gosh.
happened. Yeah, I mean they got lucky. Also, it was COVID time, so everything was like blowing up and stuff. But I mean, that joy when you see something being created from zero, you don't get in, making money from an enterprise. Nothing against it, but this is what I really like. This is the story, right? I
But
mean, you're
everybody
sitting in
was
a
an entrepreneur at one stage in their life. I mean, even the Apple guys,
exactly,
even the Google guys,
and today's entrepreneurs are tomorrow's enterprise. That's what I
Yes.
feel, and I've seen that already. So amazing to see the story, man.
So
And
what we've
and
decided,
actually, the jobs that you're creating on the field, that's just so amazing.
mm, and that's definitely one of the big things as well. So what we've done, and I don't know if other people are doing this as well, but because we've got the gas company and we've got a big customer base,
Hmm.
I looked at the amount of rides that is done, and I came up with another idea. And I said to my clients, "Listen, why don't you why don't you brand on our tuk-tuks? Put your company
Yeah,
details on our tuk-tuks because they do between 200 and 300 kilometers a day. They stand
pretty good
out,
eyeballs. Yeah,
and you can't help. I mean, people. You stop at a stop street, and it's the other guy's turn to drive, and they'll tell you, "No, no, no, you can go first," because they want to
yeah,
see this tuk-tuk. And then with all the branding on, uh, the customers of ours that is branded on the tuk-tuks has come back to us very happy to say that they've definitely seen an increase in their turnover since they branded on the tuk-tuks. Now,
interesting. You have to send some pictures to us, man. I would
yeah,
really love
absolutely,
to.
absolutely. I'll
And
send you
what color
pictures.
are they? Like in India, they're green and yellow.
Okay, so what we've decided here was yellow and black, but
Nice. That was the original color in India, and the government decides, they made it green because they wanted to say that it's environmental friendly and stuff.
wow,
But yeah, black and
okay.
yellow is nice.
So we said yellow because everybody associates yellow with taxis.
Yeah.
Uh, that's number one. But number two, we also wanted the black ones because they look expensive. They look nice.
Hmm.
Um, but not just that. We've now bought a blue one. And the reason we bought a blue one is because one of our customers, most of his company logos and everything is blue. And
Oh,
we
got it.
discussed with him branding one as well. And I said to him, how would you like us getting you a blue one? It's really going to look like it's your company's tuk-tuk. And
Yeah,
he was blown away. He said, absolutely. It's not even a question.
it's a
Just
done
get it.
deal.
So as we speak right now, it's at the printing company, the branding company. It's being
Yeah.
branded. And
You should try a pink one. I'll tell you what. So here, the government started like
we can't
pink.
get pink, someone.
Oh,
They don't give us, they give us blue, yellow, red, black, and green. We can have those
oh,
colors. So
interesting.
there's
The
a
pink
company that,
ones were for
yeah,
ladies. So like, lady drivers, lady passengers. In India, it was a big thing at some point. But yeah, maybe in South Africa, it's not that big of a safety issue.
yeah, no, I don't know, but we can't get pink here unless we wrap it.
Yeah,
So all of our tuk-tuks are branded now. And because of the fact that we have branded them, it brings us in an additional amount of money per month. So we
revenue.
are
Yeah,
using some of that money that we're earning through branding to bring the rentals down for the drivers.
the
So we
drivers.
don't
Yeah,
have to charge them these exorbitant amounts. So like I said earlier, a win-win situation for everybody. The customer is winning, we are winning, the driver is winning, and even the passengers are winning because this
cheaper for them.
this is, yeah, it's cheaper for them. We don't have to charge the same rates as everybody else. And in terms of
And you
dollars,
know what I would really, I mean, I would like to suggest because it's interesting for me also. So in India, there was this tuk-tuk race
mm,
from like north to south, multiple options. So like you can do like east to west or west to east in South Africa. Like and I can tell you like there were a lot of people who would pay like $5,000 to $10,000 to take part in
wow,
a 1 week long race where you would drive from one part of the country to the other.
that's a
And
magnificent idea.
And in fact, I did that, and I met some of the people. So very good friend of mine, I met him. He's a Swiss entrepreneur. He sold the largest sex toy company in Europe,
Wow.
right? And I met that guy riding a tuk-tuk in it's a very like a mountainous place called Lahore Spiti. And I met him, another guy from Australia. He's a miner in Australia. I'm still in touch with them, good friends. So such amazing things because people have this, and it could be extra revenue for you, right?
Mm.
Where people come and it's like an adventure for them. They want to see South Africa, right? What other way to do it, and you like have 7 to 10
I
day
definitely
kind of.
want to speak to you about that. I think that's something that would be very popular. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and Africa is even better because in India, the traffic is a little bad, but I'm guessing that South Africa traffic is also pretty nice, and the scenery, everything is like I would do it. I'm a
Mm.
customer, right? You do it.
I would definitely look into something. I think that's a magnificent
I'll
idea.
send you the link, man, and would be amazing. So yeah.
So we took it one step further. We said, okay, I'm speaking to two of the local cellular companies in South Africa. One is Vodacom and one is Cell C. We want to now look at putting free Wi-Fi on all of the tuk-tuks in exchange for advertising on the tuk-tuks.
That's
So
interesting, man.
you can have the same username and password through all of our 8 tuk-tuks. So if you're a customer, it doesn't matter which one you're going to jump into. Once the username and password is safe on your Wi-Fi, you will always have Wi-Fi while you're riding in our tuk-tuks. Then you know that behind the driver, there's the metal board that sits at the bottom, and there is 3 spots that you can actually put a sticker on. And I don't know if you've ever heard of a saying called captive marketing. When you are in South Africa, if you go to a restaurant and you use the public bathrooms, there's a board in front of you. That so while you are doing your thing, you actually stand there and this board is in your face, so you can't help to read. It's either insurance companies or medical aid companies or people like that.
Wow. A
And
bit creepy, but sure.
we now advertise inside of the tuk-tuks as well, and that brings in additional revenue for us. And if you think about it, 25 rides per tuk-tuk per day times 30 times $9 gives you around 6,000 people a month that's going to be seeing your advertisement in a tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
So we
No, man,
charge.
I think, the next thing that you need to do is you need to bring in these fleet owners, which are like, let's say, and actually some of the drivers will become that. So what we are seeing in India is, a driver who would ride a tuk-tuk eventually will say, okay, I'll buy 5 tuk-tuks, right? And I'll make like a micro fleet of my own. So what that does is you can actually scale much faster, and you become the tech platform essentially, right? And
That's what we've already been discussing. So I'm very happy that we're having this conversation today, because I already had some big investors that came to me and they said, well, would I like to go national with this? And would I
yeah,
like to do this? And absolutely, yes, we want to. But the very most important thing for us to do right now is to get us registered with the Department of Transport.
okay, sure.
That's the most important thing, because we'll get into trouble with the taxi association. They are very hostile towards the Ubers and the Bolts and the guys like us, all e-hailing services. So
But
I'll
I
also,
mean, like you're not really directly competing with them, I
they don't
believe.
care. The mentality here is something else, and you can't really explain it to somebody unless you are here. They are honestly not allowing the sun to
But
shine on
I
us.
can tell you, if it helps in India, a tuk-tuk driver mostly makes more money than a taxi driver because of the number of rides, as you mentioned. I bet a taxi driver does not do 25 rides a day.
Actually, I must just clarify that for you, Samar. When I say taxi drivers here, I'm not talking like the traditional taxis, which is a car. I'm talking about minibuses that
Yeah.
take 16 people at a time. So these guys are cheaper than us. If I look at
Oh, that's like, you got it. Like, it's like
yeah,
sharing taxi.
correct. So the challenge with those guys are, and that's why some of their customers do come over to us, is
Hmm.
because they don't leave unless their taxi is full, and they wait
Yeah.
for 16 people. Now, because we're not a big town, passengers can sometimes wait up to 3 hours for a taxi before you will leave. So that's a challenge
Wow.
for me. That's why they would rather pay more. And believe me, if I tell you, we are double the prices what they charge. They be
Yeah, I mean,
exactly
it has
double the
to be,
price.
they are like a shared thing then.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Obviously, we are
So
offering convenience to the
100%,
consumers. Yeah.
100%, Taira. So they would rather pay double the price and know that they can get where they want to go now,
Yeah.
instead of waiting for 3 hours, And then also after 7 o'clock at night, you will not get those taxis on the road anymore. And then everybody uses the tuk-tuks.
Yeah.
So, but it's not just limited to that, Samar. I mean, we've got the most amazing stories that we can tell you. I mean, people phoning us from the airport saying, I forgot to buy milk for my wife. She's at home with our baby. Can you please go to the shop and buy us a formula, because she doesn't have transport. We get people getting stuck without fuel that calls us to come and help them. We do lots of deliveries. The restaurants has really taken up our services big time, because a couple of reasons for that. One, they don't have to buy motorcycles. Number one, that needs to be maintained. The drivers fall with them, or they get into an accident, and then they have an issue. Number two, the reliability of drivers, because they employ the drivers directly. That is a big challenge in South Africa. The drivers are extremely unreliable when they do food deliveries. Number three, and the biggest thing, is that while your employed drivers are doing your deliveries, and they normally have 2 or 3, when it gets busy, the customers have to wait for their food. And then the restaurant owners will get people canceling their orders because it takes too long to get to them. Now they have 9 bikes that they don't have to pay for, that they don't have to worry about. And they've got an app that they can request a ride, and the driver will be there. One of the 9 drivers will be there within a couple of minutes, and they will do the delivery for the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it just makes so much sense for them to use us. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And we take people to clinics.
No, I mean, so you don't need to tell that to me. I'm like,
You
I
can
guess I can call myself OG of auto rickshaw ride hailing.
Yes.
So, I don't know if that's valuable, but,
Of
that's
course
what
not.
I have. But I think it's amazing, man. Like, the biggest thing that really moves me is the impact. It's a very positive thing for pretty much everybody. Like, in fact, in India, we have even invested in a natural, like a biogas plant company, right? Because we believe that, if like there's so much bio waste everywhere that's being produced, and we are going one step further, like how do we produce that biogas? And that biogas is, what these tuk-tuks run on in India, at least. And eventually it's a full recycled, it's better than solar, because you're actually uh, eliminating waste, right? uh, reducing carbon emissions of methane, etc.,
Mm.
and creating employment at the grassroots levels, giving people a positive, a cheaper mode of transport. Like, there are very few things that can do so much good, social good,
Mm.
compared to this. So,
So that's something we look at as well, because we've got the gas company that does LPG gas, liquid petroleum gas.
yeah.
We also do the auto conversions, where you can convert your generator to LPG. So
So,
it's a
but your
universal
tuk-tuks are
pathway.
LPG tuk-tuks, or?
Yeah, your petrol motors can run on LPG.
No, that I know, but your tuk-tuks are CNG or petrol?
They are petrol.
You
They
can
are
actually
petrol.
get CNG.
So I want to do that. We already got the carburetor kit, so I must
Yeah.
just see if it actually fits, and just look at all of the technical.
I'm sure if you talk to Bajaj, they'll help you with that. Because in
Yeah,
India,
I need to get a hold of the guys in India, and maybe you can help me with that, because sadly, the people from South Africa are not that great when it comes to after sales.
who's the dealer for South Africa? Do you know the company
Um,
name?
the guy, the business.
Company.
So it's called Transverve South Africa.
I'll
TRAN.
find. No, I got it. It's not the
Yeah,
one that I was thinking about. So I'll connect you with somebody, high up in Bajaj. I know some people. So
that'll be fantastic. We do
yeah.
have some challenges with Bajaj in South Africa. 6 months later of using Bajaj's, we've not received technical training. So everything that we know, on Bajaj's is self-taught. We've
And I
paid,
can tell you, man, like, it might even be like, that you could sell a lot of Bajaj because of this opportunity. Because,
Mm.
a lot of people like, have to buy like a $20,000 taxi when they can buy a $3,000 tuk-tuk and do the same thing.
Samar, I'm in talks with people who wants to put 10,000 tuk-tuks into the country.
Yeah. I mean, that is,
Going from entrepreneur to
yeah, almost enterprise. So, but let's do this, man. I mean, I'll send you my WhatsApp number. uh, you know, you send me my yours, and let's. I'll if you arrange the race, I'll definitely come for it. Otherwise, I'll try to make it for you.
You're most welcome. I invite you.
Yeah, I'll definitely, man. It's long overdue for me to be in South Africa. I
I think,
promised Juno also
especially where we
yesterday.
live, you'll really enjoy this. We're living, in my point of view, in a place that's like it's really special. We're close to rivers, we're close to most beautiful scenery. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
gorgeous here.
South Africa is beautiful. By the way, I'm supporting you guys in World Test Championship. I don't know how you guys are doing today. The
With
cricket
regards to
thing?
the soccer,
Cricket.
oh, the cricket, of course. How can I? No, I haven't. I don't know. I don't know at the moment how we're doing with the cricket. I've not been following. It's just been it's too busy. We are in winter right now. And,
Yeah.
for us with the gas business, we do 4 times more turnover in winter than in summer. So
Oh, makes sense.
we do 16-hour days at the moment in our gas business. It's extremely busy.
Makes sense, man. So yeah, I mean, this has been really nice. Some really good points, and let's keep working. Let's keep doing this. I hope you can go to all of South Africa. I genuinely think that this can actually like really spread all over South Africa, not just small towns also, because this is like a just different segment in itself.
Samar, you'll be
And
blown away if I have to show you where I plan to put tuk-tuks, because there is so many, and I mean
mm,
so many, thousands of rural areas in South Africa where there will be people that would absolutely love this. So that's why I'm talking to some investors on the side to see how we
mm,
can roll this out, because I mean our app can go nationwide, right? The
yeah,
Jugnoo app can
makes
go
sense.
nationwide. We can just geofence it for all the different areas.
Yeah, already like works. That's the whole point. So
Exactly. So
And
there is,
in that, there was a big problem statement which has been solved by tuk-tuk transportation.
yes, of course. Yeah, Terry, there's amazing scope. There's amazing scope. And what worries
uh,
me is that when you think about something, it's already too late. All right. You were supposed to have done this already. So I want to
yeah,
jump on this before it's too late, because there is people, like I say already, that has seen what we do here, and they are doing it privately on their own, but they don't have an app. And it was funny
true.
to see in the beginning that some of our customers went away from us to these new guys because they use these small little cars, Suzuki Expressos. I don't know if you've seen it.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah,
very small little car. So they bought these
it's in
cars and
India. Yeah.
yeah. So they're trying to do this, but because they don't have an app, it didn't last very long. And I foresee that, because 1 month later, some of them has already said, well, this is not working for us and we don't have the money to buy an app. Now those guys are approaching us and say, hey, can we pay you
Full
to
time.
use your app?
Yeah.
And right now I'm saying no, because I want to keep it to tuk-tuks. I don't want to mess it up too much. Tuk-tuks is, like we said earlier, it's something special. It's something unique. And we want to
Okay.
keep it. We want to keep it.
That's your. You are the boss. You know better.
Look,
So
maybe later on we'll change our minds,
yeah.
but it's also important for me to make sure that I protect our name
No, in the
and
beginning, the
the
brand
service that
is
we.
very important. So you have to make sure that you grow slowly, or you grow at a pace where customer experience is never hampered. I think that's the most important thing.
That's a very big concern for me, Samar. I want to make sure that we are really on top of customer service and make sure that every customer has a wonderful experience when they use us. And if I'm going to start pulling in third-party people, I don't know what their motivation
Yeah,
is really
you
for doing.
have to grow, and but yeah, fair enough. You have to grow, but grow slowly. So
Yeah, so
sounds good, man.
for now, I would like to stick to tuk-tuks. For me, that's just something unique. It's special.
Great.
Definitely.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I think it is a story wherein it is very evident that limited resources cannot stop big ambitions. And Yaku, congratulations for having achieved it. Summer, you've already achieved it in India, and I still order my autos from Jugnoo, and I love traveling by auto. So cheers to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot,
guys. It
Jaco.
was a pleasure meeting you. I feel honored to have had this time with you guys. Thank you very much. It was wonderful to
Same
meet.
here. And I'm hoping to meet you soon in South Africa, and hoping that we can do this tuk-tuk race across South Africa, man. It
Samar,
will
you
be
bet on it.
amazing.
Get in touch with me and let's
I will send
discuss the
that
next
email
step.
to you. Trust me, man, I'm going to be after your life for that.
100%. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Tyra. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Take care.